Center, and I want to welcome you to this beautiful day and reading haiku. I want to thank Renee for suggesting you all come here for this celebration of the San Francisco Haiku's second anthology. Is that what we got going on? Fantastic. So welcome. She asked me to say a few words about the place, and you noticed you're in a residential area, didn't you? When the property was bought in 1942, it was a dairy farm. There were no houses around here. And the building you're in right now was Dick O'Hanlon's sculpture studio, built in 1949 by the neighbors. So it's definitely up to code. No. So you see the big beams and everything. He worked in the big granite that you see outside. He taught at Cal after World War II. And Anne O'Hanlon was a painter. So her painting studio and where she taught classes was in the other building, the loft. We have studios here for artists. We have a ceramics studio, and we teach classes and have exhibitions. This happens to be a figurative show, as you can kind of tell. And so Renee is a member here, and she submits to a few of our shows, especially the Wabi Sabi. We do an annual Wabi Sabi exhibition. I invite you all back for that one as well. Let's see, so we're a nonprofit since 1969. So we're edging on to 60 years, which is exciting. So I hope you'll stay involved with us at some levels. We do have a poetry group that meets on Zoom since COVID, and they want to continue on Zoom. They do it every other Thursday, and we do have other readings and writing classes here as well. So it is multiple arts as well as special events. So welcome, and will I pass it on to you, Sue? All right.
The bathrooms.
Yes. Oh, the loft. Okay. So there's a restroom up in the corner here. And also, and the door is open here. There's also, some of you have found the restroom in the loft, which is also open. The loft has an exhibition as well, that the door will stay open if you'd like to see that after the presentation here. And that's where we hold our classes. Anything else? Well, here we go.
Hello. I'm Sue Antolin, and I just want to say a huge thank you to all of you for braving the traffic. Apparently it was awful from every direction, but I'm so glad you're all here. It's a beautiful day, and huge thank you to the O'Hanlon Center for having us. They're not charging us, so I just want to say it would be wonderful if anyone's feeling generous, please make a donation. There's a Venmo code over here, and there's a basket going around if you happen to have cash. I know a lot of people don't carry cash anymore, but come scan the Venmo code after, and that would be so greatly appreciated. This is a real treat to be in such a gorgeous location. So I'll just say a few words about logistics, and then Gary will tell you a little bit about how the book came to be, and Carolyn will say a few words, and then we'll get going. Because we had so many readers at the book launch, we didn't have time really to hear the work of some of the poets who are no longer with us. But there are actually quite a number of poets whose work is included in this book who are no longer living. And so if you would like to, you don't have to, but if you would like to choose somebody and read their work, if you happen to know, who is deceased and you would like to read their work, you can read theirs in addition to yours when you come up and read your work. So you can think about that for a minute. And then if you were at the first one, you'll know how we did it, but I think we'll do the same thing. It works so well. I'll read a list of names, and if you could come and stand up here, and we'll just go one after another, and we'll do a couple of groups. And it won't take very long at all, so we don't want to take your whole beautiful Sunday afternoon. So thank you, and I'll turn it over to Gary.
Hi everyone, I hope you haven't heard this speech before. So in around, I don't know, when was it, 1990, before that? I had the idea of doing this first anthology, San Francisco Haiku Anthology. At the time we didn't know it was only one, but didn't know there'd ever be another one. with Tom Tico and Jerry Ball. And we used to meet, I used to have a photo studio on Fell Street in San Francisco. I'm a professional photographer. And for 4 years, we met every couple of weeks in my studio, and went over all the poets we could find in the Bay Area, trying to include as many people as we could possibly get in the book. And after the 4 years, we came up with this product. Then we had a meeting in San Francisco, 2 hours meeting that I was a part of, and I was saying to Sue and Carolyn, you know, it's probably due for a new anthology, 30 years later. Now it's been more like 34 years later. So we agreed that we would try to do another one. And this time we wanted to include all the poets that were missing from this one. We still have some poets from this one in the new anthology, but there was way more poets, that even come and gone, that had been here for 30 years, they wrote, they passed away, and that was that. So we tried to capture all those people that we'd missed, friends, poets that made their name for themselves, minor poets, people you maybe never heard of, and we spent ourselves almost 4 years putting together this book. So that's really the history of the book. There's probably more I can tell you, but that's all you need to know, I think. And I guess I'll turn it over to Carolyn.
Have to get up here in front to say this. I just want to welcome you all here and say that this book wouldn't exist without you, who have written these poems that gave us the pleasure of spending 2 years looking at them and deciding what was going to go in this book, which we're very proud of, very happy about. It's gotten a really good reception, and it's only because so many good poets contributed to it. So that's all I want to say is thank you all for that.
So if you would like to follow along, I think we'll go in roughly alphabetical order. And the book is arranged alphabetically, so you can follow along easily. If I could have Gary, Johnny, Carolyn Hall, Sarah Paris, and Joseph Ravello come up here, and then after we're done, I'll have the next group, and we just have 2 groups.
Okay.
So you want to read some of the poem after mine?
Yeah, before or after? So while everyone's coming up, I'll start alphabetically.
Sue?
Yeah.
Can we go back to the old reading the poem twice?
Well, I
You
think
think
because
there's
people
a-
can follow along, I think it's okay to just read it once. Yeah.
That's for the hearing.
So I'm going to start off by reading the work of Kay Anderson. Deep silence, the orphaned nestlings this third morning. Distant thunder, yesterday's morning glories, pink with holding on. Gray salamander, childhood's cool creek in my hand. Dry leaves on the trampoline, the foster child's 5th placement. Autumn afternoon, arm-linked old friends sharing the limp. Pine-needled path, slowly I step out of my mind. Evening lull, the dead cypress, still speaking of wind. 5 years in the wrong window, a a violet's first bloom. What else do I need to know? Pine tree growing from stone. That's a hard act to follow. I'm going to follow with my own. Maybe I should have reversed the order, right? So these are my poems. Summer clouds. I pull the rope ladder up behind me, belting out all the wrong lyrics, fields of wild mustard. Expanding universe, I ask my husband if we are alone. Faintly glowing stars, if you know how it ends, don't tell me. We call it a day, the lid dancing on a pot of artichokes. It must have been the onion that started it. Evening rain. Assigning my pain a number of autumn clouds. Psych ward. Out in the night air. My turn to fall apart. After midnight, each small noise that is not her key in the lock. A light snowfall without forming opinions. And so I agree not to die before she does. The sound of crickets. Night sky. One of those stars might be the reset button. Thank you.
Oh, watch the cord, Gary.
Okay.
It's around your foot.
Gary Gay from Windsor. I'm going to read mine first. Church view, a butterfly with folded wings. I wish I had a secret to keep, dandelion seeds. The perfect skipping stone still in my pocket. Oars at rest, the slow drip of our conversation. Along the way, an old oak branch becomes a walking stick. Old slippers, I shuffle from room to room, looking for the moon. Weightlifter, slowly lifting the teacup. No matter where I stand, barbecue smoke. Plum sake, I fall in love with the moon. All day, a cricket in his throat, old scarecrow. Snowflakes fall into the darkness of a tuba. River stones, worn smooth, I have no regrets. That's mine. And now I think I'm gonna change poets. I'm gonna do Jerry Kilbright.
Do you know when he passed, Gary?
It's probably in the book. I don't know when he passed. I hope he's in the bio back here. I'm not sure. So these are Jerry's. Jerry and I were old friends. He's one of the first people I started talking with back in the 70s. The nurse speaks of Christmas. Red lights on the CAT scan go on and off. Silent night, the singing hands of the deaf child. AIDS march, I keep relighting the candle I carry. Body bag, not asking, not telling. Condolence letter, running out of ink in mid-sentence. Day after diagnosis, avoiding my eyes while shaving. After closing, wiping down the bar where the wise guy sat. Apple pie. What more needs to be said about my childhood? Terminally ill, when I was a kid, I tried to count all the stars. End of a long day. The old bartender's feet take the floorboards home. For those who don't know, Jerry was a bartender for a long time. Bleak autumn. Chauvel also had a little white dog. His last one. San Francisco fog. A troop transport moves through memory. Thank you.
I'm Johnny Johnson Havernick and live in San Francisco. I'm going to read mine and then someone else's. Silence, learned from my mother. October sky. Serious chat with a sometimes friend. Winter drizzle. The slightest touch signaling forgiveness. January moon. Prayers scattered with her ashes. Mountain chill. Breakfast on the veranda. The industry of ants. One of her daughters inherits her laugh. Spring sunshine. Making space for who I am today. Spring cleaning. Kazoos on the final chorus. Summer's end. Now I'm going to read a few of Susan Diradoni's. I'm not sure what year, but it was a couple of years ago. Vows jump their past perfect membranes. Eastertide. This one is a 3-line. Coyote chorus. Elevator to the roof of forgotten woods. The rest of these are monocoos, 1 line. Summer magnolia buds entwined with eulogies. Early in autumn's brine, a choice ferments. Moss upon the northern stones, a summoning. Caravan swirls where cigarettes once ferried me. Thank you.
Okay. I'm Carolyn Hall. I'll read mine first. Rain-streaked windows. How to paint the finch's song. So suddenly winter. Baby teeth at the bottom of the button jar. My 8th decade. How the rains rearranged the creek. Hungry, but for what? Winter moon. Plum blossoms. I make plans for my ashes. Mother's Day. The commotion in the tree becomes a heron. Nesting owls. Who would I be if I had stayed? Hot as blazes, a sinkful of cat. Apostrophe moon, the brides I do. Autumn dusk, a word that will do for the one I can't find. Twilight, the poultry truck returns with empty cages. Year's end, What made me think I needed a harmonica? Okay, now I'll read a selection from, if I can find her, Lori Stelting. Lori is one of the first people I met and got to know well in HBNC. I'm gonna miss her. Cicadas, finding the sound of my imagination. Purr of the reel, a cormorant's wing beat sweeps the lake. Cleaning the stored koa seeds, sometimes we let go of dreams. To a chorus of crickets, the earth gives up its light. Early Lupin, all the heat in the parked car. Family reunion, she brings up stuff from the cellar. A Phoebe's erratic flight, this canoe truck won't settle anything. My propped pillow, our vacation starts to rain. Winter silence, sometimes I am the creek, holding nothing back. Deep snow, I didn't expect this struggle. Scheherazade, husband, these are my stories, as if they could save my life. And the last is, out of the hermit thrush, out of the valley, one song. Thank you.
Joseph Robello from here in Mill Valley. First morning, firecracker papers wander the streets. Fog-filled valley, the shape of a dog's bark. My parents' room, 2 cigarettes talk in the dark. The soft skin behind the sow's ears, spring morning. Sunset, warmth from the cat that will outlive me. Fighting next door, I heard them in the spring, making love. Warmed with whiskey, the winter moonlight. Another year, the weight of my shadow in new snow. Winter wind against my window, against my will.
Hi, I'm Sarah Harrison from Santa Rosa. I don't have quite as much history as some of you, so I don't actually know who in here is no longer with us. So I thought I would read a couple by the esteemed editor of Modern Haiku, Paul Miller, who can't be here because he lives in Florida. Suspecting mine is the placebo, January moon. A paperclip holding the file together, winter hospice. Some of the blanket left in the lint trap, winter evening. Sawtooth peaks, leave my body to wild dogs. Childless, I stand with the others by the river. Summer's end, riding a borrowed bicycle past the graveyard. Good stuff. I'll just read a couple of mine. Spring breeze, the mockingbird's song gets carried away. A gray dawn again and again, the morning dove. This is a real San Francisco poem. Outside the walls, herons guard the shore, San Quentin.
The next group will just do fewer. So, Mark Tieford, Nathaniel Tico, and Leonard.
Yeah. Let's see. Well, this is quite a pleasure. I think I've met a total of 2 of you in person before, so this is this is a real treat. I don't know the history either, so having just moved here 10 years ago, but so I'll just read the ones I have here. First day of spring, our toddler ventures out the doggy door. Just like home, socks under her hospital bed. City park at night, the possum and I share a moment. And fire and brimstone, a yawn passes through the choir. And that's all I have.
Hi, I'm Nathaniel Tico, born and raised in San Francisco, still live in the city. Cool city night, asking the cabbie to turn up the jazz. Bridge traffic, a V-shaped lane of pelicans. Through city fog, the faint roar of zoo lions. Warrior pose, meditating on peace. Middle age, the dull knife I prefer for coring apples. Mansplaining, mansplaining. No attachment, sage advice from the computer. In the window of the derelict storefront, help wanted. Wilting bouquet, whiskey bottle bud vase for the holdouts. Autumn evening, memorial bench missing its plaque. And factory settings, the beach cleared by the storm. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Minerva Tico, sister, also born and raised in San Francisco, and I'll be reading our father's haiku. He passed in 2016, and actually this month would have been his 83rd birthday. The slack bristles of my toothbrush, winter's end. A little escape from the world and its affairs, the scent of jasmine. From the sand dollar I used as a paperweight, a trickle of beach. Morning sunshine from a broken down house, a burst of laughter. In the hunched shoulders of people going to work, the morning chill. My elbow slips off the arm of the chair, autumn evening. Above the gable of the old Victorian, the gathering dusk. A solitary night, this quiet communion with fireplace flames. Tentatively returning after the earthquake, the quiet before dawn. Even at midday, the darkness of night and the crow's call. Foghorns, the vague shapes of familiar trees. Getting down to the nitty-gritty, shortness of breath.
Tom Tico was one of the 3 editors of the first volume that's over there, so that's pretty cool to just have both of his kids here reading from another volume. I think that's amazing. Unless I'm missing anybody, I think we just have Paul Watsky. David Watts is not here, correct? No. So, yeah. So Paul, and then we'll close with Renee.
This is the payoff for being at the end of the alphabet. You don't have to stand out of line, nobody wants to get ahead of me. Well, actually, I think I'll start by reading something by Jerry Wall, because he was one of the editors of the original volume. Gary snatched Jerry Kilbright away from me, who was kind of my mentor in the haiku world, so here's another one of the old guys. Cold morning, the shape of the knife remains in the butter. First snowfall, why, I wonder, are we whispering? A year by the door, and now the azalea expects a greeting. Farmer's market, 2 young lovers sampling honey. Checking tickets, then exchanging seats, spring opera. A roadside fruit stand, after my poor Italian, a gift of nectarines. Summer morning, the old dog seems to know the length of the leash. Strawberries, a handful of them under running water. For predicting it, how pleased I am with myself in the summer rain. 3 and 2, everyone in the stands shouting advice. Shaking hands again with the cardiologist, end of summer. Fall conference, I am here, right behind my name tag. So now, these are some of mine. Beach sunrise, long shadows of pebbles. Early appointment, the analyst's office full of yesterday's heat. Foggy morning, the wind chime trembles soundlessly. First free sunup, awakening graduate studies his ceiling. Beachcomber, not seeing the sea. Valentine's Day, at Ocean Beach, the many names scratched in sand. Renaissance Fair, a woman with dancer's legs watches the dancers. His cigarette break, the friendly bank teller, unfriendly. High windowsill, teetering toward birdsong by arthritic cat. Tai Chi master rearranging the quietness. Carrying their canes, 2 old women lean on each other. His ashes scattered, what to do with the box?
So I just wanted to start by thanking the editors of this volume of poetry, Sue Antolin, Karen Hall, and Gary Gay. incredible undertaking. So they weren't kidding when they said they spent 2 years. They invited us each to give 40 poems, so they had a lot of work to choose the best. And I'm speaking to the choir for those of you that are in the book and that are haiku poets, but for those of you that are not, in this book is 30 years worth of poetry, and some of the most renowned poets writing internationally in the English language haiku world. So it's kind of a big deal. So thank you guys for making it happen. I also wanted to thank Irma. Is she still here? She's wandered. Oh, there she is up there. For this incredible space. Please go upstairs and see the rest of the art and in the loft. Thank you, thank you. Please also, if you do not have one of these books, please purchase one of the books. They're discounted today for $25 right there. And she accepts your credit card. Sue Antolin accepts your credit card or cash. And I think that's all of my announcements. So I wanted to just briefly read just a couple of haiku from one of my haiku mentors, Jane Reichold, who passed in 2016. She lived in Wallala. She was an incredible, prolific poet and artist. Must have had about 30 or 40 or maybe 75 books. She was that kind of person. And here's what she said, a quote from her. I was not alone when writing haiku or collecting them. It's very clear these are not my haiku. They are given to me in moments of openness to something beyond myself. And I think that really captures, for those of us that write, what we're doing here. I'll just read a couple by her of my favorites. First light, the earth separates from sky. Neither here nor there, the dreams one carries on a journey. Bleached grass, all the yellow has gone back to the sun. If the sea wants it, letting my hat fly off the cliff. I'm going to read some of mine now. My husband Brian on Shakuhachi. Kingfisher calls from out of nowhere, everywhere. Waterfall, I find a voice for this longing. From the throat of a hermit thrush, coastal dawn. This one life, I move the sparrow to higher ground. Spring thaw, you were there all along. Dusk on the mountaintop, as if I had wings. Whale spouts, this thin line of hope migrating north. Coastal fog, a V of ghost herons bends to the wind. Alone on a wild coast, twilight takes me. Be still and know that I am wind, rain, trees. What I will miss, the tips of pines against a blue sky. Becoming the sound of crickets, becoming night.
Thank you, Brian. That was amazing. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for coming. Thank you for making this such a special event. Please feel free to hang around. Don't make me go home with all those cookies. Have some wine, and if you'd like to buy any books,